Can I
All
say
right.
something?
Go ahead,
To,
Di.
so Sweeney, I want to play basketball, right?
Go ahead.
I want to get better.
Yep.
I get on the court and I'm doing shit that's not gonna make me better, but I think it's gonna make me better. Like I'm not doing drills that coaches would give to me. I just go out there and I'm looking on the court and I see people and people like, what the hell is she doing? She don't know what she's doing.
Can
Yeah,
I
I don't
pause you
know.
real quick? I don't.
Let me finish. Let me
I know.
finish.
I don't
I'll
get the
let you finish.
basketball reference. I don't get the basketball reference.
Let me
Can you give me
finish.
like a real relationship reference so I can understand? Because I don't get the
No,
basketball
it's the
reference.
same thing because it's a man thing. If I give a relationship reference, because every time a woman tells you from our point of view, you don't understand a woman's point of view. So I'm trying to
Well,
I'm trying to give let me just finish my statement. In order for me to get better at basketball, I have to know what matters in basketball in order for me to get better. Just because I don't know what to do and I'm not doing the right exercises don't mean I really don't want to get better. When it comes to marriage, there's so many different ways of getting to marriage. It's not one cookie cutter answer. That when we're on our way to marriage, sometimes we as women, we have different obstacles than you all have. Like how y'all are able to turn off y'all emotions instantly when it's time to get to business. Like y'all can control y'all emotions. Y'all can't pick and choose. As a woman, that's not our luxury. We ate the apple. That's our punishment. So we have to, even though we might not like a healthy woman might not output those emotions on a daily basis, but she deals with that constantly over and over. It wasn't until I had experience and dealing with my emotions because I didn't have a dad. When you have a dad, your dad will instantly tell you, okay, handle it like this, handle it like this. And when you see a man handling it, it's different than just telling somebody. So we have to learn from experience. A lot of us women out here, we're going off of experience. And when guys do not have your best interest at heart and they know that you lack a certain area in your life, a certain protection, they will come and give you that protection. And once they give you a protection that you never got from your dad, you thinking, damn, out of all the niggas I done fucked with, damn, he giving me a certain type of protection. Maybe I should take a chance on him. And then when you do take that chance on him, he end up being like, nah, I don't want to fuck with you. Like you ain't her.
What is
And it's
taking a
like
chance?
you
Hold on,
take a
Sweeney.
chance
Hold
on
on,
him.
Sweeney.
Like
No,
you
I
take a
get it.
Sweeney,
chance.
hold on. Hold on,
But
Sweeney. Die.
yeah, what's up?
Sweeney trying to be your big brother right now. You know what you're doing? Shaking your head like, nah, that's not it. You don't know what you're talking about.
No,
You can't say in the same breath that women don't have fathers and they didn't grow up without father. I mean that they grew up without fathers and so they don't know how to move when it comes to dating. But when you have a man that's trying to pour into you, that's not trying to be sexually involved with you, that he's really trying to pour into you and give you some sound advice that's going to help you and push you forward into the outcomes that you want, you negate it.
I don't
Also, that
understand
man
how
isn't
that.
her father.
Yeah,
So
I'm sorry,
it's a
what?
difference. I said that
Say
man
what?
isn't her father, and they don't have any, I'm not sure y'all relationship, but I don't think they have any personal basis outside of this where he knows her whole life
Kate,
story. He's grew up
Kate,
with her
Kate.
and
that's
things.
what I was trying to say, Casey. Like
Respectfully,
Yeah,
if you're
Casey.
coming to this community, and I would say the Lapeef Network is a community. If you aren't aware of that, like a lot of us have been here for years, and a lot of us do know bits and pieces of our personal lives. And so, if somebody married, a married man is giving you a perspective of married men, and you're saying you want to be married, and then you negate it and saying that he's not her father, so she don't have to, she shouldn't listen to him.
No, I'm
I
just
don't
saying that
comprehend that.
I'm saying not that he's not her father and she doesn't have to listen to him, but because he's not her father and she's speaking from the perspective of a woman that was raised with a father or from a woman that was not raised with a father, it's a difference because she wasn't raised like that for 18 years to understand certain things.
R-
I don't
Right.
think
So
I
where's it
agree
going to
with
come
the
from? So where's the
look,
knowledge going to come from?
like
So
she
where's it
said,
going to come from?
from
No.
experience and from
So
having these types of conversations, but
I,
she's not necessarily, I don't feel like she's negating what he's saying. I think she's
thank
speaking
you.
from her own personal experience and
Thank
she's
you.
taking in what he's saying as well. I don't think she's
Yes.
negating
I'm
it
not
at
saying
all.
what
you
Sweeney is
you
saying
can
is
be
wrong, but I'm saying
you can
Sweeney is
speak from
making
experience, but what are you going to do differently to change that? You're complaining about your
I
experience.
mean, we
How
haven't
are you
gotten to
going to
that
do?
point.
Exactly. Y'all
I'm
not
sorry.
y'all
I'm
going too
sorry. I'm
far.
sorry. Casey, me and Di have been on many panels before. So I've had this conversation in different ways with Di many times before. So I
Yeah,
know,
This
I've
is a
never heard
different
this
topic, Casey.
conversation.
This is
right. So
a
I know what I'm
completely
talking
different
about.
topic.
Yeah, I've never had this conversation, so I've been trying to hear her point out, and I think she keeps getting cut off by finishing the point.
I never get a chance to finish. It's been happening
Sweeney
all
did
night. It's
Sweeney
been
did not
happening
cut you
all
off,
night.
Di. Di, you asked a question and he answered it and you said no. He didn't cut you off.
He did. I was still in the middle of my explanation when you jumped in.
Okay, I'll mute
Literally.
up. Y'all got it.
All right, go ahead.
Literally.
Go
I
ahead.
didn't
So
get a
you
chance to say nothing all night. I let everybody give their appointments all
let,
night,
let,
and
no,
nobody ever came back to me.
let's have our dialogue. Di. Go keep going with what you
Don't
were
feel
saying.
bad, Sweeney. This ain't the first time I've heard a conversation where someone's father failed him. So
No, come on, Bruiser. Come on, Bruiser.
No, but Bruiser is right though. It's the truth though, and the thing is,
we're getting
when we try to
derailed.
tell y'all the problems that comes with it, it's just like, yeah, but that doesn't make sense to us, and it wouldn't make sense to
That
you.
ain't what I said.
Somebody who have resources and access to people and different things, it wouldn't make sense to you. But all I'm doing, I'm not making an excuse for it, but I'm literally trying to put yourself in my shoes. So then when you
put me in
give
your shoes.
advice, it's not just from your perspective.
Put me in your shoes.
Be my perspective to give a
constructive
criticism.
Die, put me in your shoes.
Okay, so like I was saying, because y'all was saying that y'all feel like women are more focused on their careers than marriage. And what I said was, when we make certain mistakes coming from a certain background, sometimes certain mistakes can actually make your life worse. It can actually hurt you more. And remember, we are trying to talk to people that's in their 30s, their 40s, their 50s. So we can't say, well, in high school, you should have did this. We have to talk about what it is that we can do now. And that's why I was trying to tell you the reason why it's so difficult for us, because when you trust a man, when you submit to a man, you submit to his ideas, and you got to just pray and hope that, okay, his ideas are like really genuine in heart. And sometimes when you lack certain coverings and a man give you that covering, you thinking, okay, this is the one that God sent, when in reality he's just giving you that basic on the surface covering, on the surface level covering that most men give. And men like, oh yeah, you should know better. But it's like, if you never had that, for you it feels safe. It's like, damn, he's providing the safeness for me, so this got to be fake, but after so many times, you realize it's wrong. But I'm just telling you, that's why some women will put their career in stability, because if they don't, then if he leaves her, she won't have nothing to fall back on.
So you know what we see happening right here?
Hold on, Trev. So with that being said, because you did say something interesting. You said you put your trust in a man, and then you what was the word you used? You said that
after he provides a certain covering, yes.
You
not
would
me,
do,
but
what,
I'm just saying, like,
you would do. They would do what? They would do
for
what?
me, the first time I dealt with a heartbreak and I put my trust in a man.
No.
Okay.
Not after the heartbreak. You said that the man showed you something and you did what?
Oh, I started trusting him.
And then you did what?
Like, he would, whatever, like, he'll be like, okay, we're gonna move this way, we're gonna move this way, we're gonna move that way. Like, and I'm like, okay, I could do that. Like, I could rock with that. Or because I don't really have issues with like combativeness, but I would, like, I'm letting him get at me. Like, I'm letting him control the flow of the relationship, basically. And then sometimes it don't go nowhere. Like, it be like, damn, like, I'm.
So I can clarify. So the thing is, this is why I use the term marriage, because marriage is a very actionable thing. There is no way around it. It requires specific steps to actually do it. Now, I get it. Like, a lot of women get into a relationship and they trust a man and they go through the relationship, but the marriage doesn't happen. Right? Because I remember you saying that what happens is that you'll trust this man, and then y'all trust these men. They ain't even marriage minded. But that's why I put the qualifier on women who are marriage minded and prioritize it. Don't fall for that, because it requires a certain action for it to be a thing. A woman ain't gonna stick around for 3-4 years trying to figure out if this dude is marriage minded or not, because she's gonna say, okay, you're not marrying me. You're not doing this. You're not. And then And the reason why I said a
How would
lot
a
of the
woman know this though? You know what I'm saying? I've seen
a
marriages where
marriage.
people were together for 7, 8 years and then get married. I've seen marriages when people were together for 4, 5 years, then get married. You know what I'm saying? So for you to put a number on it and be like,
Yeah,
oh, 3, 4 years,
yes,
it's like,
they are, but you have to, again, there's very actionable things that happen within that relationship that makes that person, that makes those two people understand that marriage is at the end of the road of this. Those two people, when you're talking about a group of people, two people who was together for 10 years and then they got married in year 11, or they were together for 15 years and they got married in year 16. There was never a time where those two people where there were times where they, got upset with each other in marriages and in relationships. That's what happens. But there's always that constant, I'm still here. We're still doing this. There's always constant conversations between those two people that let them two know that at the end of the day, if it comes down to marriage, you're still the one that I'm marrying.
Swinny, men do that, and that's the difference. Like you said, when a woman does that, she's into you. A man who's not into you, especially when you have things that he wants, will do that. He will stay around. He will try to pretend like he's fighting. He will pretend like he's changing. He will pretend. And the thing is, and it'll be for like 6 months, and then he back to himself. 3 months back to himself. So that's what I'm saying, Swinny.
So you're
that's
saying,
a long period of time
all
to
right,
be
so
taking.
you're saying that this person, see, when you're using words like they do this and then they're back to themselves, what that's telling me is that this person is revealing to you that they're not the right person, because they will pretend to do this for 3 months and then all of a sudden they go back to, they fall off the wagon and they go to hell with you and show you their true colors, and then they do it. Then you say, oh, well, I put enough time in, so let me do it another 5 or 6 months, and then they show you your true colors again. That's it. That if not the first time, the second time they did it, and I'm not talking about y'all experiencing issues in a relationship. People grow. People try to figure things out. I'm talking about when you're figure out in an instance where this person do not want you. They're showing you, I don't want you. And you say, well, I'm going to stick around anyway. They told you that. And especially if you, in a person who is marriage minded and is serious about marriage, will see that the first time or the second time and be like, I'm good on that.
But Swing, what you don't understand is that's one way of seeing it. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? There's a next relationship. She only seen what wasn't the right way, but she still hasn't seen what is the right way. So when she gets to the next relationship, if she did what she was supposed to do in that first relationship, took accountability, did everything she was supposed to do, when the next relationship comes, guess what? It's a guy, but it's a different problem. It's not the same relationship problem with this guy. Now this is more than money. You know what I'm saying? Now it's a different guy and he's teaching her something different. You know what I'm saying? It's for women who do not have that foundation. That's why I said it's an experience and process thing, because what made this relationship go wrong don't mean my next relationship, that's the same thing that made this relationship go wrong. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And in order to be in my feminine, I have to submit to some point to really figure out if this man is, you feel me?
Yeah, I get it that y'all have to bump y'all head, right?
Yeah.
And things y'all didn't have somebody that explained this to you in your life and you have to bump your head.
Mm-hmm.
How many years do you have to bump your head to realize what a real relationship or what somebody that cares about you actually look like? I don't think it lasts 10 years. I don't think you need 5 relationships to do that. I don't think you need 15 years to figure that out. It doesn't take I think most of y'all experience relationships and experience men as early as the age of 16.
Swinny, it just takes accountability, but it's hard to take accountability when a guy is doing a wrong action. It's easier, just for instance.
What's the wrong action example of that?
So, for instance, if a guy is cheating or just using her, whatever, a woman instead, and this is not me, I don't do this because I've grown from my relation. Like I don't do this, but you can't just blame him for being a cheater. You have to be like, okay, what attracted me to you? What made me feel safe with you? So I can make sure that I know that this is wrong. By me yearning for this isn't love. This is just trauma. You know what I'm saying? That's how that happens. Like, and I understand what you're saying, but it doesn't take a certain amount of years. It's healing, and everybody healing process is a different time frame, especially for women. So you can't just be like, oh, a year or 2 years or 3 years. As emotional beings, y'all wouldn't understand that healing process because y'all are not emotional beings, and emotions
What?
affects the brain.
Well, no,
Well,
No,
the
well,
thing
y'all
is,
not like
well,
we
no,
are.
no, no.
Y'all
It's-
say
I
them
don't want
as
to. I don't want to
speaks
go down
back
that rabbit
to-
hole, but I will say this: just like y'all have y'all emotions and they're strong, and they can happen to you in a negative way, y'all also wield y'all emotions in a positive way, where y'all are also easier. Where it's also easier for you to process your emotions sometimes to be able to get over the hurt that you experienced in that time, and you able to move on to the next person. I like it. I get it. Y'all experience. We all experience issues. We've
The
all
process
had
is
bad
over.
breakups. We've all
Yeah.
had serious situations happen to us. We've all fallen down. We've all done this. All I'm saying is that it doesn't mean just because you experience hurt in this area, it does not mean that you have to say screw that. And especially if you say you want it. If you say you want, now if you say fuck marriage altogether, I'm just gonna focus on my career. I get that. Then you basically saying screw marriage your whole life. But when you say I want marriage, but I'm not gonna do marriage or I'm not gonna do relationships until I get this done, and especially if it's done out of fear, that's always gonna be the ass backwards way of going into it because it never works out in the end because you're already walking into you're looking at marriage from a jaded perspective. And then two, you're not prioritizing it. I always say it's easier to do things with two people than it is to do it with just yourself. Like unless you like, you know what I mean? Somebody's responsible for you. You're responsible for them. They wanted to pick you up when you fall. You pick them up when they fall. It's always easier to do it with two people than it is without that person.
And I just want to let you know I agree. But when y'all ask questions like why do y'all do it, it's not me making excuses. I'm just telling you why.
Yeah, and
And I'm
I
not saying
think
it's
that
right.
still
It's not
goes
going to get
back
you
to
towards
speaking
marriage.
to.
It's just sorry, Casey.
I
Go
think
ahead.
no, go ahead.